So, Cyclone Montha is over, but it's left behind some pretty complicated weather. The storm itself is gone, but the one question on everyone's mind is, are we still going to get rain? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what's happening in the skies.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap what happened. Cyclone Montha spun up in the Bay of Bengal. It made landfall near Andhra Pradesh yesterday, with winds hitting about 85 kilometers per hour. And as of today, it's weakened a lot as it moves over the Andhra-Telangana border.
So, where is the rest of this storm actually going? Let's take a look at its new path now that it's moved inland. First off, it's not really a cyclone anymore. It's been downgraded to a depression, and it's heading northwest. It's expected to drift over places like Vidarbha and Chhattisgarh before basically just fizzling out in the next 2 or 3 days. So, the good news is, the direct threat to the coast is completely over. But its impact? Oh, that is far from over. Let's get into how this one cyclone has managed to basically hit the pause button on the entire northeast monsoon. And this is really the heart of the matter, right? The storm's powerful circulation has completely flipped the script on the kind of weather we'd normally expect this time of year.
And you can really see the difference here. Normally, the northeast monsoon means easterly winds blowing in from the east, giving us that widespread rain across Tamil Nadu and the coast. But Montha has completely reversed that. It's now pulling in westerly winds, which feels a lot more like the southwest monsoon. So what does this big wind shift actually mean for you on the ground? Well, it means we're swapping out that steady, widespread monsoon rain for something called convective rainfall. The best way to think about it is this. Instead of a sprinkler system covering your whole lawn, we now have these random, intense pop-up thunderstorms. They're scattered, they're unpredictable, and they can definitely catch you by surprise. Now, I know what you're thinking. A monsoon break sounds a little scary, right? But it's really important to put this into context, because it's happening right after an incredibly wet month. Let's just take a quick peek at the numbers for October. And wow, just look at these numbers. The season started off super strong. Tamil Nadu as a whole got 55% more rain than average, and Chennai got 44% extra. So we're going into this temporary dry spell with a pretty big surplus of rain already in the bank. Okay, so even with that surplus, what can we expect over the next 24 hours? With these new westerly winds calling the shots, the western coast is up first for rain. Let's start with Kerala and Karnataka.
For Kerala, it's pretty much a story of widespread rain. If you're in the southern and central districts, we're talking Thiruvananthapuram, Kollam, Idukki, you should be ready for moderate to heavy showers. As you head further north towards places like Kozhikode and Wayanad, it'll be a little more moderate, but don't be shocked if you get a sudden heavy downpour.
It's a pretty similar picture over in Karnataka. The really heavy rain is going to be hitting the coastal and northern parts of the state. So if you're in Kodagu or Bidar, expect some pretty good showers. Now, for those of you in Bangalore and more inland areas, things are going to be much lighter. Probably just some light rain over the next day.
All right, let's shift our focus now to the states that are really feeling the direct effects of the cyclone's leftovers as the system slowly crawls across them.
In Andhra Pradesh, the storm's remnants are going to bring widespread light to moderate rain to a lot of places, from Nandyal all the way to Vijayawada. The real spot to watch, though, is Palnadu district. That's the one place where some heavy rain is a definite possibility.
Now, for Telangana, this is where things get a bit more serious. There's actually an alert out for widespread heavy rain, especially in districts like Khammam and Warangal. And even from major cities like Hyderabad, the forecast is calling for moderate to heavy showers, so you'll want to be prepared for that.
And finally, let's bring it back home. What does this whole convective rain pattern mean for Tamil Nadu, which is usually the star of the northeast monsoon? For Tamil Nadu, the one word to remember is localized. Your best chance for moderate or even some heavy rain is going to be near the Western Ghats, so places like Valparai and in pockets of the southern and delta districts. Down south, you can probably expect some light to moderate showers. But for the northern areas, including Chennai, it's a totally different story. Mostly just cloudy skies with maybe a slight chance of some light rain. So, after all of this disruption, the one question everybody's asking is pretty simple. When is the real northeast monsoon going to make a comeback?
Okay, so here's the date you'll want to circle on your calendar. Forecasters are expecting those classic easterly winds to start making their return around November 10th. And what that means is that monsoon should officially get back on track starting from November 11th.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? The best way to think about this period isn't as the end of the monsoon, but just as a temporary intermission. The cyclone might have disrupted the show for a little bit, but the main event is absolutely set to return.